In his book, Presence at Work, leadership coach and Harvard Business Review author L. David Marquet tells the story of Captain Sullenberger and his emergency landing in New York City's Hudson River. Sullenberger had just taken off from New Jersey when both engines on his Airbus A320 lost power. With a disabled plane full of passengers, Sullenberger had just one shot to make a good impression on air traffic control. And here's what he said. "We've lost both engines. We're 470. We're going to be in the Hudson." Although they'd never met Sully and had no idea how dangerous their situation was, after hearing his calm and clear statement, the air traffic controller immediately sprang into action. She got the Coast Guard involved and guided Sully to the safest place to land. Everyone in the plane survived. After the incident, an investigation concluded that Sully had made a series of perfect decisions in the cockpit, but it was his final decision that most impressed the investigators. He'd chosen to trust the other pilots in the cockpit, allowing them to take the controls while he handled communications. "My job," says Sullenberger, "was to keep everyone focused on what had to be done next. That meant I couldn't show fear or anxiety. Every time you speak, people are making a decision. Should I trust this person? Or should I tune them out? The stakes may not be as high as a disabled airplane, but if you want people to listen to what you have to say, you need to earn their trust. But according to best-selling author Tim Ferriss, we tend to do 5 things that break trust and kill our executive presence. In today's video, I'm going to tell you what they are so that you can avoid them. Welcome to the channel. Here's a quick disclaimer before we get started. None of this content is intended to serve as a substitute for professional advice, therapy, coaching, or medical treatment. Viewer discretion is advised because some of this content may be offensive or disturbing. Please do not watch this video if you are under the age of 18. Now let's get right into it. Habit number 1, explaining too much. When giving instructions or sharing information, it's easy to assume that others don't know as much as you do. So you feel compelled to explain every detail. But according to Ferriss, this can make you look incompetent. In his book, The 4-Hour Workweek, he writes, "If you explain too much, you are implicitly saying, 'I am not competent enough to convince you,' without further explanation. A common mistake is to use complex explanations to mask a lack of clarity in thinking. Instead of explaining everything, Ferriss recommends adopting the teach-forward approach popularized by business coach Marshall Goldsmith. This means that instead of starting with the details, you should begin by answering the "so what" questions. What does all this mean? What's the big picture? Then flesh out your explanation with supporting details. Not only will this make you come across as more confident, but research from the University of Chicago Booth School of Business shows that teaching others forces you to organize your thoughts and memorize information better. You become the content, which brings us to habit number 2, fidgeting. If you struggle with being still, you're not alone. According to Dr. Richard Jolson, psychiatrist and author of Too Much of a Good Thing, fidgeting is a natural and healthy response to boredom or anxiety. However, at work, it can be a problem. Research published in the Journal of Nonverbal Behavior found that fidgeting can make you appear less credible. One study even found that candidates who tapped their feet during a job interview were rated lower on a number of dimensions, including confidence. If you're nervous, it can be tough to sit still, so instead of trying to stop fidgeting altogether, try to redirect your energy. Take notes, play with a pen or doodle on a pad of paper. Bonus: this can also help you remember what you learned. Habit number 3, waiting for permission. Perhaps you're used to deferring to your boss or another authority figure. Maybe you feel uncomfortable speaking up in meetings. But if you want to develop your executive presence, you must overcome this habit, says Ferriss. Waiting for permission signals a lack of confidence. People won't take you seriously if you can't take yourself seriously. Plus, if you wait for someone else to give you permission to act, you could end up missing an opportunity. Instead of waiting around, Ferriss advises taking initiative and asking for feedback later. Of course, this doesn't give you license to go rogue and do whatever you want. Just make reasonable requests and be prepared to justify your actions when you ask for feedback. Aim for the 24-hour rule. Do the thing and then ask for feedback within 24 hours. By acting quickly and asking for feedback later, you'll gain experience faster and build your credibility along the way. Habit number 4, avoiding hard conversations. Does conflict make you uncomfortable? If so, you're not alone. According to a survey conducted by the Society for Human Resource Management, 60% of employees felt that their biggest workplace challenge was interpersonal conflict. But here's the thing, says Ferris. Avoiding conflict doesn't make it go away. Unresolved issues fester and resentment grows, which can destroy team morale and limit your leadership potential. To tackle difficult conversations, Ferris suggests following the STAR method. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. Let's say a coworker isn't pulling their weight on a project. You can start by describing the situation. Hey, I noticed that the project deliverables are behind schedule. Then outline the task at hand. We need to get this project finished by the end of the week. Next, describe the action you've taken or will take. I've reached out to see if you need help finishing your portion of the project. Finally, share the results. Let me know if there's anything I can do to support you. This direct approach might feel unnatural at first, but like anything, it gets easier with practice. Habit number 5, inconsistency. Imagine you're working on a team project and your coworker promises to submit their portion by Friday. On Friday, they ask for an extension until Monday. Then on Monday, they ask for another extension until Tuesday. This constant back and forth is not only frustrating, it makes your coworker seem untrustworthy. In a Harvard Business Review article, authors Jack Schafer and Neil D. Discursos write that inconsistency is one of the top 10 derailers of leaders. If people can't count on you, they won't trust you. And trust is essential to leadership. So what can you do to be more consistent? Well, for starters, be mindful of your body language. Are your words and actions aligned? Are your facial expressions genuine? Also, try to avoid making empty promises. Nobody's perfect, and sometimes you might forget something or circumstances might change. If that happens, own it. Apologize and offer an alternative solution. At the end of the day, your goal is to create a positive impression. And when people see that you're aware of your missteps, they're more likely to forgive you and move forward with you. Trust is essential to leadership, but it's not the only quality that makes a great leader. If you want to learn more about the qualities of leadership, check out this video next. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and join us in becoming a better version of ourselves.